Hi everyone, this is Men's here. I'm playing the M4A3E2 Sherman Jumbo, which I'm actually using the upgraded turret here. It does lose a bit of armor compared to the stock turret, but the mantlet is the same. You just kind of have to be a little wary, but even though it is weaker, a lot of people know that the Sherman's turret's pretty hard, so they won't shoot you. Only the really experienced players can kind of spot the difference. And I don't use the 105mm either. I use the top M4A3E2 gun, only because I really like the rate of fire and the DPM it gets. And ever since they changed the heat shell on the M4 105mm, it's not really as good against tier 6 and 7 and 8 tanks, so I kind of like the 76mm better. But what the Sherman Jumbo has over other medium tanks at tier 6, it might not be as mobile, but the whole armor is pretty decent. It's sloped fairly well, so you actually can bounce quite a lot of shots at tier 6 and even 7 tanks coming in. And as you see, your whole armor on the side isn't great, so you don't want to over angle. So something I like to do is when people are about to shoot me in my front somewhere, I'll angle at the last second so they still hit here, but they won't hit the side armor. Because if you angle too early, people will just aim at your side armor and go right through. But this is really kind of like a pocket heavy tank, only because it's not really a medium because it's that slow, which is not too slow, but it's not medium fast. But you're really good at bullying medium tanks, and you can go toe to toe with heavy tanks if you know where to aim or if you fire premium rounds. So being a tier 6 tank and a tier 7 match here, I'm not going to jump in real quick, only because those top 3 tanks can really hurt me very quickly. So I'm just gonna kind of see how it unfolds in this area out in front, and then I'm gonna decide whether I'm gonna push forward or I'm gonna wrap back around through the left side of the map. Definitely do not want to take any quick damage right away.
We didn't penetrate their armor. That one didn't go through. Enemy armor is damaged. Enemy is hit.
I should be fairly safe here because my side's at a auto bounce angle for those 2 tanks shooting at me. Only the KV-1 can really do any damage to me right now. So even though the side is weak, if you keep it angled enough, you can still bounce quite a lot of rounds off of it.
Enemy armor is hit. We didn't even scratch them. Enemy is hit.
So I'm actually going to switch over to APCR just because this is a T-29 and I want to kill him before he does too much damage to me. Because he can really turn the tide of the map. Seems like we are pushing up fairly well here, so I'm just going to go up with him. Churchill 7 can do a bit of damage to me, but I'm just going to blink at him until I get around his side, and hopefully he's still alive. As you see here, you're still mobile enough that you can get around the map to where you need to be, but you also have quite a bit of armor for a medium tank to exploit it. So it's really the best of both worlds. Just the main downside is you don't have a ton of HP, so when you do start taking damage, you can really die pretty quickly.
Penetration.
And with the 76mm as well, you do struggle, even with premium rounds, against the more heavily armored 6s, 7, and 8s that you'll face.
Enemy armor is damaged. Enemy vehicle destroyed.
But overall, our team played this pretty well. It looks like we're going to win, but you still never know. But with Ensk and counter, I really like to focus on the 6-0 line first, only because even if the flag's getting capped, you still have enough time to get over there if you need to. But if you lose the chunk of your team right away over on the right portion of the map, you're in a bit more trouble. So I'm actually going to go straight down here with this AMX, just to provide a little bit more of a flank.
Penetration.
And he didn't last long.
Penetration. Permission to engage. Target released. Enemy armor is hit.
So overall, this was a pretty good game. I got 4 kills, did a decent amount of damage, and I soaked up a little bit of damage as well with them auto bouncing off the side armor there. So let's see, did the most amount of damage and most amount of experience, of course, and also soaked up a little bit under double my HP. And even with firing a bit of APCR, you can see you still can make a little bit of a profit, even without the mission reward. So I'm going to hop into the next match here, see how well I do in this one as well. And I am recording this live, so bear with me if I kind of get into a train of thought, because especially with a reload as short as this, you kind of have to focus, and it's kind of hard to talk at the same time. So with a map like this, don't exactly want to go into the valley in the 1-2 line, only because the terrain resistance on this and swampy ground isn't all that great, and you kind of lose that little bit of mobility that you have, and you really turn into a very sluggish tank. And especially with encounter on this map, you want to focus on the city side anyway. Alright, so I'm going to head down the 8 line here. I don't want to go into 9 and 0, only because if I come face to face with any of those tier 7s up there, I can be in a lot of trouble. But going in this part of the town, it gives me a little bit more flexibility as to where I can move to if I need to. You just kind of want to be careful that you don't get shot from the middle there. And as always, it always helps if you can get that quick damage off. want to push out there too early. I'm just going to wait to see what this IS spots. I know that there is a tank down low, I think.
That one didn't go through. We didn't even scratch them. Enemy is hit. Track hit. Enemy armor is hit. They
Time
killed
to
our
back
driver.
up. There's a lot of people over here. Kinda sucks for that IS, but there ain't no way I'm surviving all those shots.
That one didn't go through. We didn't penetrate their armor.
And this is looking pretty bad for us. We've lost
Enemy armor is damaged.
Valley somehow,
Attack.
and we're
Penetration.
outnumbered over here.
That one didn't go through.
I'm gonna try to back up just so I can hopefully survive long enough to do something. As you can see here though, it is a little hard to influence matches when you're a 7 or a 6 and a 7 match because you don't have a ton of alpha to play with.
Enemy
So
armor is destroyed.
you can't really go toe to toe with many 7s just because they can easily chip off half your HP in one shot, and even with your DPM being higher, it doesn't really matter that much at that point.
Enemy armor is hit. Lost to track. Penetration. Penetration. Enemy armor is damaged.
But your high rate of fire gun does come in handy
We're dead
as
for.
long as
Everyone get
you
out.
don't get shot by that AT-8. He shot me from over there, I believe. He's pushing up the middle, but overall, I'm trying my best in this match, but you can't always do well if the situation doesn't let you. I probably could have pushed through the valley or the middle and did a little bit better, but it's kind of hard once you come face to face with half the enemy's team and most of their 7s to engage them in close range like that. So that's one of the downsides of the M4, is since you have a high DPM gun, but you don't exactly have that high damage per shot, you can run into some issues since you could pretty much be two-shotted pretty quickly. Overall though, the Jumbo Sherman, it's probably one of my favorite tanks, if not my favorite tier 6, aside from the FV304 to play, only because it does a lot of things very well, and its downsides can be masked in a lot of matches, and the really only downside to the tank is when you're in a match with a lot of tier 7s or tier 8s. That's when the tier 6-ness of the tank really starts to show. But aside from that, it's a really solid tank overall, and no matter what kind of tank you like to play, you can play the M4 in a lot of different roles and do well. But overall, as you see here, still got top 3 damage, which is pretty good for a tier 6, and I soaked up a bit of damage as well. And of course I lost money since we lost, and I did fire a bit of premium rounds. But overall, this tank, as I just said, it's one of my favorite tanks, and if you're grinding up the American tree, it's definitely a tank you want to check out, because more likely than not you're gonna like it. And if for whatever reason you don't like the 76 millimeter and the top turret, you can still swap down to the 105 millimeter derp gun, but you'll definitely notice when dealing with non-medium or light tanks that you'll wish you had the 76 millimeter. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also check out my website, wotguru.com. Thanks for watching.